Learn English to Gujarati. Nuanced adverbs with
मोटा भागे,
and.
जरूर पड़े तो.
Welcome, brave language detective. Hey, you are about to learn some wonderfully precise English ideas in Gujarati, and yes, some of them sound like they belong in a courtroom, a science lab, and a very dramatic family dinner. Don't worry, we'll make them fun. Today's mission is to master 8 useful expressions. You will hear them in English and meet them in Gujarati, under certain circumstances is.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં,
If necessary is.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Largely is.
મોટે ભાગે,
Mostly is.
મોટા ભાગે.
Partial is.
આંશિક,
In parts is.
ભાગોમાં.
Selectively is.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક,
And tendentially is.
વલણ રૂપે.
If your brain says, that is a lot, tell it, yes, but we are doing it with style. The office of suspiciously precise people. Imagine you work in an office where nobody says simple things when complicated things are available. Perfect training material. The manager clears her throat and says, we can approve your vacation.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં,
In other words, under certain circumstances. Translation. Maybe yes, maybe no, definitely paperwork. Then she adds, bring extra documents.
જરૂર પડે તો.
That means if necessary. Translation. Probably yes. Office translation. Absolutely yes. You ask, is the report finished? Your coworker smiles with the confidence of a person hiding 3 missing pages and says,
મોટે ભાગે,
largely, not fully. Danger lives in the small unfinished footnotes. Another coworker says, the team is
મોટા ભાગે.
ready for the presentation. Mostly ready. Which means one person is ready, 3 are confused, and someone has brought snacks instead of slides. The finance file is only
આંશિક,
partial, half the truth, half the numbers, and somehow still a full meeting. The new office chair arrives.
ભાગોમાં.
In parts. You wanted furniture, instead, you got a puzzle and emotional growth. Human resources reads applications.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક,
Selectively. They say they choose carefully. The rejected resumes say other things. Finally, the economist on the top floor points at a chart and whispers, salaries are improving.
વલણ રૂપે.
Tendentially. So the trend is up, but your wallet is still writing a complaint letter. Tiny meaning differences that matter. Now let's make these words behave. Some are close cousins, but they are not twins. Under certain circumstances.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં,
Depends on conditions. Example. I agree.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં.
It is not just, sometimes, it is, only if certain things are true. If necessary.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Means only when needed. Example. Call me.
જરૂર પડે તો.
It sounds practical, calm, and slightly like your most organized friend. Largely.
મોટે ભાગે,
Means for the most part. Example. The project is
મોટે ભાગે.
finished. It is almost there, but not at the victory parade yet. Mostly.
મોટા ભાગે,
Is very similar, but often sounds a bit more everyday. Example. It is
મોટા ભાગે.
quiet here. Partial.
આંશિક,
Describes something incomplete. Example. We have
આંશિક.
information. This is the word of teachers, analysts, and people opening mystery boxes. In parts.
ભાગોમાં.
Tells you something is divided into pieces or sections. Example. The machine arrived.
ભાગોમાં.
Single quote. Selectively.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક,
Means not everything is chosen, only some things. Example. She answered.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક.
Only the easy questions. A bold strategy, honestly. Tendentially.
વલણ રૂપે.
Means according to a tendency or trend. Example. Prices rise.
વલણ રૂપે.
Over time. It is formal, smart, and carries graph energy. Mini dialogue with maximum drama. Listen to this little scene. It has office stress, furniture problems, and a cat with opinions. So, realistic. A. Can we move the meeting to tomorrow? B. Yes.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં,
The boss must agree, the client must reply, and the coffee machine must stop making sounds like a haunted accordion. A. Should I bring the backup files? B.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Also bring courage. A. Is the presentation ready? B.
मोटे भागे.
The charts work, the title works, and one slide still says, insert genius idea here. A. Is the team prepared? B.
मोटा भागे.
One person knows the plan. Another person is emotionally attached to the wrong spreadsheet. A. Did the furniture arrive? B. Yes, but.
भागो माँ.
We now own 17 screws, 4 wheels, and a manual written by a philosopher. A. Did you read all the customer comments? B. No, only.
पसंदगीपूर्वक.
I read the useful ones and ignored the one that said our logo looked like a sleepy potato. A. And the market outlook? B.
वलन रूपे.
Positive. A. Great. And the missing sales data? B. Still.
आंशिक.
We celebrate carefully. Memory tricks your brain will forgive. Let's glue these words into memory with images so strange they become unforgettable. Science would probably approve. Picture a magic door that opens only.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં.
3 lights must turn green. That is under certain circumstances. Picture a backpack with an emergency umbrella that pops out.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Only if necessary. Picture a pie chart that is almost full and labeled.
મોટી ભાગે.
That is largely. Picture a classroom where nearly everyone is present. The teacher says.
મોટા ભાગે.
That is mostly. Picture a pizza with only half the toppings. Delicious, but.
આંશિક.
Partial. Picture a sofa trying to enter a tiny apartment and finally coming in.
ભાગો માં.
In parts. Picture a child choosing only red candies from a huge bowl, very.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક.
Selectively. Picture a graph line leaning upward and whispering.
વલણ રૂપે.
That is tendentially. Yes, even graphs can be dramatic. Quick practice, no panic. Your turn. I'll give you a cue, and you mentally grab the Gujarati. No need to scream at the book, unless it helps. How do you say under certain circumstances?
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં.
How do you say if necessary?
જરૂર પડે તો.
How do you say largely?
મોટી ભાગે.
How do you say mostly?
મોટા ભાગે.
How do you say partial?
આંશિક.
How do you say in parts?
ભાગોમાં.
How do you say selectively?
પસંદગીપૂર્વક.
How do you say tendentially?
વલણ રૂપે.
Challenge round. Now let's see whether these words can survive real sentences. Spoiler, they can. Translate this idea. We can change the rule under certain circumstances. Key phrase.
અમુક પરિસ્થિતિઓમાં.
Translate this idea. Call me if necessary. Key phrase.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Translate this idea. The report is largely correct. Key word.
મોટી ભાગે.
Translate this idea. The street is mostly quiet at night. Key word.
મોટા ભાગે.
Translate this idea. We only have partial information. Key word.
આંશિક.
Translate this idea. The machine was sent in parts. Key phrase.
ભાગોમાં.
Translate this idea. She selectively used bright colors. Key word.
પસંદગીપૂર્વક.
Translate this idea. The pattern is tendentially visible in the data. Key word.
વલણ રૂપે.
Friendly conclusion. Nicely done. You just worked with subtle meanings that many learners avoid, and you handled them like a calm multilingual superhero. Thank you for learning with me today. Practice these words out loud, reuse them in your own sentences, and come back to them.
જરૂર પડે તો.
Soon these expressions will feel
મોટી ભાગે.
natural, then
મોટા ભાગે.
effortless, and your progress will be visible.
વલણ રૂપે.
Over time. Thanks for listening, and keep practicing.